Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the main news on Camnet TV. Here are the top stories making headlines in our news tonight. Complete student hostels by December, directs HH. LUSAKA records decline in marriage registration. ECL not undergoing chemotherapy, argues TONSE. And in international news, Asian and European markets decline amid escalating US-China trade tensions. And in sports news, Zambia lose 5-4 on penalties to Tanzania. Do join me with the details after this break.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
With the news in detail, my name is Sylvia Zulu. The LUSAKA City Council, LCC, has registered 822 marriages in the first quarter of 2025, reflecting a 17.9% decline from the 1,002 marriages recorded during the same period last year. The latest figures include 781 ordinary marriages and 41 express marriages, compared to 940 ordinary and 62 express marriages in the first quarter of 2024. LCC Assistant Public Relations Manager Nyambe Bulumba has attributed the decline in registered marriages to various factors, including involving societal trends and possible delays in couples formalizing their unions. He says in effort to promote marriage legalization, the Council continues to conduct sensitization campaigns and education initiatives aimed at increasing public awareness of the benefits of formalized unions.
The LUSAKA City Council has registered and formalized a total of 822 marriages in the first quarter of 2025, representing a 17.9% decrease compared to the 1,002 marriages recorded during the same period in 2024. Out of the 822 marriages conducted in 2025, 781 were ordinary marriages, while 41 were express marriages. And in contrast, out of the 1,002 marriages recorded in 2024, 940 were ordinary marriages and 62 were express marriages. To ensure we promote marriage legalization in the state of LUSAKA, the Council remains dedicated to conducting sensitization campaigns and educational initiatives aimed at fostering widespread awareness about the benefits of formalized. And by actively engaging with the community, we seek to enhance public understanding of the significance of, legal recognition in marriages. The Council wishes to reaffirm its commitment to facilitating and encouraging legal marriages, recognizing, the invaluable benefits they provide, ranging from stronger legal protections for individuals to enhanced family stability and a positive impact on society as a whole. We therefore wish to call upon members of the public to embrace the practice of legalizing their unions and take pride in ensuring that their relationships are, formally recognized. The local authority will continue to amplify its educational efforts, engaging with the public to highlight the importance and advantages of legal marriage.
President Hakainde Hichilema has directed the completion of all university student hostels by December this year. Speaking during a tour of University of Zambia Ridgeway campus, Mr. Hichilema urged contractors to work 24/7 to ensure the completion of works in time. He says there is need to decongest most university hostels to uplift the living conditions of students in the country. And Jiangxi Wancon Construction Deputy Managing Director Jeremy Yu says the hostels will have 640 bed capacity. The president equally toured Palabana University, where he toured hostel construction works.
Used to share one room, 2 students. Now, you guys are so many in one room. So accommodation is important. That's why we are here to pick up the pieces 10 years, 11 years, 12 years of work, in fact it's 13 years now. So these hostels were abandoned. We worked the economy with the debt, with the COVID, with the drought. This is now the time we decided, let's continue ticking the boxes. So this year's box is to work on accommodation for Ridgeway here, for Talimbana, for Paravana, for Murungushi, for Copperbelt University, for Mukuba, for Great East Road Campus. This is a journey. I want you to follow this government carefully. What we said before, what we are doing now. In an organized way, we are taking the boxes one by one. One by one. Please understand an organized way of working. Sometimes noise there confuses you, the students. We are your friends. We are your fellow monks, fellow mamas. We are here to deliver for you. When you graduate, you bring the skills into the economy. That's how important you are. You bring the skills in the economy to develop our country. So please, contractors, work hard to complete this work. We don't want the therapist, guys. We don't want people coming here at 8 hours, knocking off at 17 hours. This is a 24/7 piece of work. Work must happen here.
TONSE Alliance spokesperson Sean Tembo has dismissed the assertion that former head of state Edgar Lungu is away for chemotherapy treatment. In his address this morning, Mr. Tembo says the 60th president is in South Africa undergoing various annual medical tests. TONSE has refuted claims that government has footed any medical bill since Mr. Lungu traveled for his medical checkups. Mr. Tembo says the former head of state will return once all medical tests are conducted.
We have seen a lot of propaganda by the president of Hakainde Hichilema towards the TONSE Alliance chairman, Dr. ECL. The first propaganda was that government was paying medical bills for the 60th Republican president. That, countrymen and women, is a total lie. At no time has President Hakainde Hichilema's government paid even one ungwe towards the medical tests that President Edgar Chagwa Lungu is undergoing in South Africa. Not even a single way. And those medical tests were very expensive, they were very costly, but government never contributed. Government has never contributed towards the ticket for Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu to travel to South Africa, his aeroplane ticket, and in between, the former First Lady, Mrs. Lungu, has been traveling to and from South Africa, and at no time has government ever offered even one ungwe to contribute towards her plane ticket. Never. Not one ungwe, nothing. So the first assertion was totally wrong. It was total propaganda. Government has never contributed a single way towards the medical tests that President Edgar Lungu is undergoing in South Africa at the moment. The second issue is about chemotherapy. At no time has President Edgar Chagwa Lungu undergone any such treatment. The president is undergoing medical tests, and that is the main thing that is preoccupying him there in South Africa. As soon as those tests are done, then the president will be on his way back to Zambia to continue being the statesman that he has always been.
The Community Action Against Corruption, CASC, has questioned the credibility of the Corruption Perception Index, CPI, as a tool for measuring corruption in Zambia, arguing that its findings contradict actual bribery trends in the country. The organization has raised concerns after the Anti-Corruption Commission, SEC, issued what it described as an inadequate clarification on the disperses between the CPI and the Zambia Bribes Payers Index, ZBPI. CASCC Chief Executive Officer Brighton Tembo noted that while the ZBPI showed an increase in bribery from 10.1% to 15.3% over the past 2 years, the CPI reported a reduction in corruption during the same period. Mr. Tembo stressed that misleading or contradictory data undermines public trust in anti-corruption efforts and weakens the country's fight against corruption.
Zambians are not asking the Anti-Corruption Commission to explain what is the CPI report and which people are involved and which institutions are involved in the gathering of the information. Zambians are asking the Anti-Corruption Commission to explain the contradiction in the data present in the Zambia Bribery Payers Index, which has indicated an increase from 10.1% to 15.3% of bribery taking in Zambia, and the Corruption Perception Index, which is indicating a decrease in bribery in Zambia over the same period 2023 and 2024. So, in the same period, under the Zambia Bribery Payers Index, we have another data for bribery. And in the Corruption Perception Index, we have another data. So Zambians are asking, why do we have different statements over the same bribery status in Zambia? That is the question the Anti-Corruption Commission should answer, not defining what is Corruption Perception Index and what is Zambia Bribery Payers Index. Moreover, if the Anti-Corruption Commission can say the bribery captured in the Corruption Perception Index is not actual bribery, then this is worrying. Why should we rely upon a statement or a report which has information which is not based on actualities? This is a very serious situation, and the Anti-Corruption Commission should explain this contradiction on bribery status in Zambia, in the Zambia Bribery Payers Index and the Corruption Perception Index, not defining the two statements to Zambians. No. Zambians are not demanding for that. We need this explanation and on the contradiction present in the two reports, not what they presented. That was just an explanation on what is Bribery Payers Index and what is the Corruption Perception Index. That is not what we are asking.
Zambia, we want acting chairman questions government's push for constitutional amendments. Zambia, we want acting chairman Richwell Siamunene has raised concerns over the government's insistence on amending the constitution, despite widespread criticism from key stakeholders, including the church, the Law Association of Zambia, and civil society organizations. Speaking in an interview with Camnet News, the former Minister of Defense questioned against rushing the constitutional review process, emphasizing that several proposed amendments do not align with the country's current socio-political landscape. Mr. Siamunene urged the government to heed public calls to defer the amendments until the 2026 general elections, citing poor timing as a major concern.
Okay, the worrying part is that we have institutions in Zambia, such as the Laws Association of Zambia, an institution that is recognized within the system of governance, okay, and they supposed to have a voice in terms of law-making matters. Now, and the other organizations such as the church, mother bodies, the civil society. Look, we are saying, yes, we need to amend the constitution, but the way it has been brought is the way that is questionable. Because in the first place, we should have had a technical committee that sat some time back to decide which clauses, which articles to amend to suit the prevailing circumstance. And after that is agreed, and then they submit to government, then the government now publicizes that this is what came out of this meeting. Okay, and then the people will know that, okay, yes, this is our input. If it at all it's not, then they're able to say, no, this is not what we agreed in that meeting, according to the report that we gave to government. It's not right. Then you find that the people who agree and who move as one. Because a constitution is a very important document in terms of governance. Because it's a guide to leaders that this is how we are going to move.
Energy expert Dr. Johnston Chikwanda has welcomed plans by government to develop a second pipeline to transport fuel from Dar es Salaam to Ndola, a move aimed at stabilizing fuel prices. In an interview, Dr. Chikwanda says the new pipeline will run parallel to the existing TANZANIA pipeline and relatively reduce the cost of transporting fuel, leading to lower prices for consumers. Dr. Chikwanda highlights that transporting fuel by pipeline is one of the cheapest modes of transportation, and with the new pipeline, the government hopes to stabilize prices and reduce the challenges currently faced with diesel, which is transported by both pipeline and road. He adds that the national consumption of petrol and diesel is rapidly increasing, with the country consuming over 170 million liters per month, and with new mines opening up, the demand for petroleum products is expected to rise, making it essential to improve storage and transportation infrastructure.
Products, diesel and petrol coming by pipeline, it is one way the prices could be stabilized and one way the prices could come down. So this project is a welcome project to enhance security of supply, and of course with the intention to expand the depot, the storage capacity in Dar es Salaam, which the Permanent Secretary talked about. It's also a good idea because it is going to support the new pipeline. The national consumption of petrol and diesel is skyrocketing. We are in the range of 170 million liters per month. When you add inventory, you see that we are virtually hovering around 200 million. And so with a rebound in the economy, especially with the new mines opening up, it means that the demand for petroleum products is going to go up. So there is a need to improve where to store it. There is a need to improve how to transport it. And transporting it by trucks is a nightmare because of the long distances involved, because of the road carnage, the accidents which we see, tankers bursting into flames and so on and so forth. It's really a nightmare. So global best practice is to transport fuel over long distances by pipeline, which some of the colleagues in the region and other countries have managed to achieve. But in this country, we've continued to move up.
Aspiring Member of Parliament for Kabushi, Titus Sichinga, has called on women to actively participate in politics, especially in the forthcoming elections. Mr. Sichinga says women and youths must take keen interest in national affairs and enjoy the privilege of serving as members of parliament, councillors, or even presidential candidates. He cited Edith Nawakwi as an example of a strong female leader, being the first woman to serve as Minister of Finance and a former party president, saying her contribution shows that women can lead. Mr. Sichinga has since emphasized inclusive leadership, encouraging both women and youths to become agents of change.
Our sincere condolences to the family of our dear leader and the FDD family, Madam Edith Z. Nawakwi. As we all know, Madam Nawakwi, having been our public leader, having served the government 10 years in different ministerial positions, and also having led the opposition political party FDD for many years, about 15 years, we thought it wise that there are a lot of lessons which we can learn from our life. In particular, but very few women who are as brave as she was. It's our prayer that going forward, the nation needs such kind of voices. We're also making an appeal to our dear mothers to join the race of the political upcoming general elections. We want a lot of youths and the women to participate in the general affairs of our nation. And also
Leadership Movement President Richard Silumbe has urged the government to prioritize the well-being of former government officials, particularly regarding their healthcare needs. Speaking during a visit to the funeral house of the late Forum for Democracy and Development, FDD President Ms. Edith Nawakwi, Mr. Silumbe described her as a resilient and influential leader who tirelessly advocated for the rights of vulnerable citizens across various sectors of society. He acknowledged Ms. Nawakwi's notable contributions to Zambia's development, particularly during her tenure as Minister of Finance and in other key government roles.
On Monday, 7th April 2025, Zambia woke up to a sad development of the passing of Forum for Democracy and Development President Edith Nawakwi. Ms. Nawakwi was the country's first ever female Minister of Finance. She died in South Africa, where she had gone to seek medical attention. Today, 9th April 2025, Leadership Movement President Richard Silumbe took time to visit the funeral house of Ms. Nawakwi in Lusaka's Roma area. Mr. Silumbe, during his address to the media, urged government to prioritize the well-being of former government officials, particularly regarding their healthcare needs.
We want to urge the government to learn from this, to ensure that every time we have a leader like the level of Madam Edith Nawakwi, we need a government that takes care of such people, because these are assets to the country. They inspire the upcoming generation. So we really want to ensure that we learn from her passing. So many lessons have to be learned. Many people are inspired by it, and we also want the government to put more effort in ensuring that we take care of these senior citizens who have contributed a lot to the welfare of this country.
Mr. Silumbe further highlighted the profound legacy that Ms. Nawakwi has left, having served diligently in many government positions.
Kwambira fe kuli bana mayo ita time bali na bena na bachiruba ilio bali ba minister ba finance na fyonso fubale twale following twale sambira kwe fingi sana kanshi finto fo twaisho pali bana wakwe efi alengo kwe bati twise tuile pamo ngabe na Zambia bali kwete ishiwi ili alekoselesha kwa bena Zambia bale landira kwa abantu nafu bene bonse bale tulandira so kanshi fyonso fubachitire tulefika femulile so mwine ewa ishiba eukabalambula kuntanshi bantu ifo tuli bana dimashesu no kumona ofotwesa contribute kubantu nsebanenso.
Meanwhile, Leadership Movement National Chairperson David Kalumba equally extended his heartfelt condolences to the bereaved family.
Bakateka bamufire kuti Chagulanda chachitika waibere kuti aho kwena tufire twayalosha bamayo bantu balisambirire fingi kuri bena mama na bakateka besu teba kalamba sana musepera balelo lishakuri bamayo bantu bamayo turebukisha nangwelyo batendeke okubentungurushu bali fye emyaka 30 bali musepera. So we have a lot to learn from her, and ichitike kwena Chagulanda lelo busuma bulipo bwakwe bati n'abatushira umwakolola. We have to learn from what she did and also pick up from where she left.
And FDD spokesperson Anton Chiboye expressed gratitude to the leadership movement for offering their support in their loss.
We are so grateful that our colleagues, who includes the leadership movement, have found time to come and mourn with us. As FDD, we know how our president has inspired the greater society of Zambia, and we can only hope and wish that the legacy will continue, like we have seen in the demonstrations that the leadership movement have done this morning by coming to just like the rest of Zambia.
Chanda Mwango for Camnet News in Lusaka.
Lusaka clergyman Apostle Godfrey Lupindula of Rock Foundation International Church has appealed to law enforcement authorities to take action against protesters promoting hate speech around the country. Speaking in an interview with Camnet News, Apostle Lupindula says hate speech has the potential to bring anarchy, create division and destabilize the nation. He stresses the importance of understanding the root causes behind hate speech, urging national leaders to address these issues in order to promote peace and unity. Apostle Lupindula emphasizes that the church strongly condemns hate speech and has called on authorities to ensure that law and order is maintained.
As a Christian nation, we condemn hate speech. Strongest term, we condemn it because it has the potential to bring anarchy in our country, to destabilize the nation. So we condemn hate speech as a church. So now, it's very important also to understand the root cause of why people are speaking like that, and that root cause should be addressed by our leaders because people are going through issues. Now we condemn it to its strongest as a church. Now, talking about hate speech, look at what happened in Rwanda, the genocide, in Kenya, those students, and our neighbor here, Congo. It has the potential to bring division in our nation. So we condemn hate speech to its strongest term. Now, what should be done as a church? Let's promote peace, let's promote unity, let's promote love, and let's pray. Now, I'm also calling upon that the law should be enforced so that we maintain order in our nation, law and order. So the perpetrators of those who are bringing hate speech, they should be followed so that they are arrested. So on the part of the church, we promote peace. On the part of the nation, law and order should be promoted.
The Office of the Public Protector has urged members of the public to report issues of unfair service treatment and abuse of power by officials to the institution. Office of the Public Protector Senior Public Relations Officer Rebecca Hazela disclosed that a total of 1,169 cases were received and conducted investigations in 668 cases, translating to a resolution rate of 58% cases handled in 2024. In an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Hazela says an audit conducted by the office reviewed that most of the cases were related to civil servants, highlighting the need for improved accountability, fairness and transparency in the public administration. He explains that the institution has authority to recommend corrective measures and enforce compliance to bring about justice and change for affected individuals.
2024. The Office of the Public Protector had a total number of 1,169 cases. Out of this number, the office was able to conclude investigations in 678, translating to 58% resolution rate. So once we sat down and looked at our files, we did an audit. Then we realized most of the cases that the Office of the Public Protector handles were to do with or involved civil servants. They are the ones that brought in complaints to us. But I think this year the focus has shifted. We've gone to the grassroots to ensure that most of the people that are the majority, the grassroots that are the consumers of the public service, are able to be serviced by the Office of the Public Protector. So what have we done to ensure that we have got cases as well that has to do with the public service delivery? So the Office of the Public Protector currently is engaging traditional leaders, the chiefs and village headmen, to ensure that we train these opinion leaders in the communities to ensure that once they have interactions with their members of the public and the community, they will be able to spread the message about the existence and the mandate of the Office of the Public Protector so that we don't leave anyone behind. So further, like I said, when we looked at the cases for a population of 20 million people, I think for us 1,169 cases wasn't enough. So we did set a target for this year. So this year would like, as an Office of the Public Protector, would like to.
The LUSAKA Regional Immigration Office has arrested 41 suspected illegal immigrants in a sweeping operation conducted on April 8th across several areas including Kanyama, Lusaka West, Chunga, Lulanda and Matero. The suspects include 26 Burundians, 8 Congolese, 2 Tanzanians, 1 Chinese national and 1 Rwandese. Additionally, 3 Zambian nationals were taken into custody for obstructing immigration officers during the operation. All those apprehended are currently undergoing screening and further processing. Department of Immigration Public Relations Officer Namatin Shika says the latest operation contributes to a total of 107 individuals apprehended for immigration-related offences across Zambia between April 7th and 8th, 2025. In a related development, 45 Ethiopian nationals who had paid court fines for illegal entry and unlawful stay in Zambia were deported on April 8th aboard an Ethiopian Airlines flight from Kenneth Kaunda International Airport. The National Pension Scheme Authority, NAPSA, has paid out 10.1 billion kwacha in partial withdrawals to eligible members since the introduction of the benefit in April 2023. NAPSA Director General Muyangwa says of the amount disbursed, 6 million kwacha consists of members' raw contributions, while 4.1 billion kwacha accounts for indexation and interest earned, representing 41% of the total payout. He says this highlights the long-term value of pension savings and the growth of members' funds under the scheme. He says this confidence is backed by a 31% increase in the scheme's fund value from 67 billion kwacha in December 2023 to 88 billion kwacha in December 2024. He further states that the economic impact of these withdrawals has been substantial, with many beneficiaries investing in housing, poultry farming, trade, and government securities, contributing to national economic activity and job creation. You're watching the main news on Camnet TV. We now take a set of commercials. Do join me with some sports news as well as international news. Stay tuned.
Every Monday to Thursday afternoon, join us for the Lunchtime Cafe. We get to bring to you emerging stories making the headlines, midday news, and we remind you of what political leaders and governance actors said back in the days. In Forgotten Stories, we emphasize to you the importance of eating healthy foods and leading healthy lifestyles on the Nutrition Corner. Get the latest updates in sports and critical interviews. Because we value your contribution to national matters, we accord you an opportunity to share your perspectives during the viewers' reactions. The Camnet TV Lunchtime Cafe is an all-inclusive buffet. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodlands, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
Thank you so much for staying with us. And now in international news, Asian and European stock markets fell on Wednesday following the implementation of U.S. President Donald Trump's latest tariff hikes, which have further heightened global trade tensions. Trump also signaled potential additional tariffs on pharmaceuticals aiming to boost domestic production of medications. The latest round of tariffs includes a significant 104% levy on U.S. imports of Chinese goods, escalating uncertainty over the next steps in the trade war. Despite initial losses, Chinese markets rebounded, with the Shanghai Composite Index rising 1.3% and Hong Kong's Hang Seng gaining 0.7%. Here's a roundup of international news.
Sweeping tariffs imposed by the U.S. on other countries took effect Wednesday, causing shocks to stock markets in Asia and Europe. China, the second largest exporter to the U.S., is the most affected, with its exports facing a 104% duty. Economists say tariff pain will mostly be felt in the U.S.
And in the long run, if Trump doesn't change, then we're going to see that the U.S. is going to be isolated. And this now becomes a problem for the U.S. nationals. And so with these trade wars that are going to come, you'll find that now allies are going to gang up against the U.S. And the people who are going to lose the most are the U.S. population, who have nothing to do with this.
Trump's tariffs hit dozens of countries, representing the biggest disruption to global trade since the 1930s. In Africa, Lesotho was the worst hit, with a 50% levy on its exports.
The tariff measure in general is not good, even for the U.S. itself, but the extent of the damage may vary from country to country, especially countries whose major trade partner is U.S. will definitely be harmed.
China, which announced counter tariffs of its own, has labeled the duties economic bullying.
The death toll has climbed to at least 98 after the roof of a nightclub in the Dominican Republic collapsed in the early hours of Tuesday. The Jet Set nightclub in Santo Domingo was hosting a merengue concert attended by politicians and athletes when the roof of the one-story building caved in and fell onto the busy dance floor. Popular Dominican singer Ruby Perez, who was performing on stage during the incident, has also been confirmed dead. Around 160 people were injured. While rescue crews were still searching for survivors in the rubble, crowds anxiously gathered at the venue to hear news from missing family members. Many people were also waiting at the Institute of Forensic Science to identify bodies. The Dominican authorities have not yet commented on the incident, although an investigation into the causes of the roof collapse is expected. Russia and the United States are scheduled to enter a new round of bilateral talks on the 10th of April in Istanbul, Turkey. While Moscow refused to elaborate on the topics to be discussed, the US Department of State said that Ukraine is absolutely not on the agenda and that the talks would purely aim to normalize embassy relations between the two countries. Russian and US officials previously met in Istanbul in late February to discuss bilateral issues. Meanwhile, Moscow has continued its series of heavy overnight airstrikes on Ukraine. A Russian strike notably hit the Ukrainian city of Kramatorsk in the Donetsk region in the early hours of Wednesday, injuring 3 people. And last Friday, a strike targeting Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's hometown Kryvyi Rih killed 18 people, of which 9 children.
The Zambia under-18 girls team has lost to Tanzania in the 2025 UEFA Friendship Cup under-18s women's tournament in Turkey. The match ended 1-1 in 90 minutes, with Tanzania ultimately winning in a penalty shootout. Tanzania took the lead in the 39th minute with a goal from Melikia William Jr., and Zambia's Mwazio Nasakala scored an equalizer in the 69th minute, tying the game 1-1. Despite the best efforts, the Copper Princesses were unable to secure a win in regular time. That's it for our news tonight. Here's a recap of the stories making headlines. Complete student hostels by December, directs HH. LUSAKA records decline in marriage registration. ECL not undergoing chemotherapy, argues TONSE. And in international news, Asian and European markets decline amid escalating US-China trade tensions. And in sports news, Zambia lose 5-4 on penalties to Tanzania. We now look at the Camnet verse for the night, coming from the book of 1 Corinthians 3, verse 16. Know ye not that you are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Good night, and God bless you all.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media